Welcome to the Late IHP show with your lovely 5D mystic, woo-woo, pseudoscience lady right here as we work to become ourselves. So I'm myself because my 0-1-year-old, not fear-mongered, my 3-year-old, not fear-mongered. We talked about the human sciences and attachment researchers and therapists and why there is not this evil from philosophy and religious books, but some people seem to use the word pseudoscience just for about anything. So when you're presenting neuroscientific facts that the brain has a fear receptor, goes wonky when people have nightmares as the brain is trying to heal from trauma memory. I mean, there's only so many ways you can say, hey, flat earthers, there is data that shows. So I'm just saying some people have gone so far to say that, everything is pretend. So you can go down that echo chamber, and that's where else the journey people are at. Or you can come on over to your 5D mystic woo-woo lady who has some human sciences and mysticism in the mix, because spirituality and sciences, they come together. But that's why I respectfully do know that some of those aspects that we conceptualize here involve when I'm channeling guidance, when I'm doing tarot card and channeling, okay, when we have our full moon, for people who don't follow the energetic aspects, because really, it's on them, but let's leave it alone, okay? So we're a good expanding group of people that says, yep, spirituality and sciences come together, because none of us are going to be so rigid like the flat earthers or any other group that creates this humongous divide and is like, wow, do you not know that fear and love coexist? We're going to get to that one, huh? Okay, so you're a human being body, so am I. And so this is where the mysticism, as Daniel Siegel has presented, he was introduced to it, meaning when somebody believes in that which is invisible, which is true, because we have a relationship with this relational field, this cosmos, it's Akash. I used to use the word God. Now I'm not really going to want to use it as much, but it's grace, it's essence of love and life. It's beautiful. And I was introduced to Jesus as I was growing up and God, and I learned all about love. And fear is part of my body, and I'm not ashamed of it. I have no shame button. So see, I didn't reclaim my 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old, because my mother didn't make me feel helpless or humiliated or as if I had something to be ashamed of for being a sensitive. That's the point. She didn't do any of that. There's no such thing as a child who's too sensitive. They're scared because they're a child. She has what's called a third, at the very least, of attunement, and whenever she couldn't come and feed me and take care of me because I'm a twin, she repaired that rupture. And to hear people call human sciences, neurobiology, neuroscience, attachment, pseudoscience. I'm okay with it with me because I bring together human, spiritual, and spirituality elements, but when you're talking to me, I find it hard to believe that implicit memory has anything to do. Well, okay, look, I know that Determined, Robert Sapolsky, I haven't read it yet, but I know it's going to be a compose of a couple of things because of how you started that, okay? I'm just going to let you know if you watch this stuff. I'm sure you won't, but it's the way that you introduced why you're going to prove what you're going to prove that I already is like, okay, I could do that too with anything that I want. But I'm an academic who chose not to continue with academia for a reason. It takes forever for them to write a bibliography and then to do all of that stuff. So I'm just going to say kudos to Robert. And it supports people to understand that there is not free will in the way of there's nothing that comes before you, is that you have a conscious choice the minute that maladaptive child behavior and adaptive child behavior comes because of trauma. So when people run away from love, it's because their first year of life, they didn't have love. So if you find an unconditionally loving person who treats you right and you run away from it and you look for the push and pull, yeah, you got some stuff going on. It's not unhealable. No, it's very healable. It's called you move into earned secure attachment by taking note, knowing to work with the mindset. You don't need no nightmares. Nightmares were created because your poor 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old didn't get a safe environment. Even yelling for a football game is terrifying to an infant's body, which is what people, I find it hard to believe. Yeah, well, you know what? Screw that shit. I'm a 1-year-old right here. So here's the deal about fear and love. So again, human sciences, if you're smart, you know what they are. And you'll know when somebody is saying something like lack of imagination for evil. Like, this sentence just blew my mind away. That's why I had to repeat it, because I'm thinking, how did you come up with that sentence in and of itself? Like, don't you hear? You use two words, one that has a philosophical religious text past background. That's it. As for forensic criminologists, they're all surrounded by therapists, the evil people. That's it. They're not demonized nor romanticized. They're poor human beings who have been determined with a past and who knows more. Yeah, they made choice points. We get it. No reason to make it into some Elsa journey movie, which is what instead you see these echo chambers. It's like they can't fathom. I don't know. Or maybe they just don't get educated. That must be what it is, because I'm attachment trauma informed. And I can get it from the people who are not knowledgeable. I can't get it from a person who's completely knowledgeable. This is what blew my mind away, is that I respect academia and people who have a buttload of certificates, because I know what it takes to get them, and I don't have as many. And so the minute that you're actually disconnecting with your sentences and simply playing to the quote-unquote crowd, which you're not even doing, you're really just a Peter Pan at this point who's got lost boys, lost girls, lost days following you. The only people who can hear that sentence without thinking, what just came out of your mouth? Besides the group. So you did the opposing group people, and then you have a sentence. And so we already know what 14-month-olds do when they meet the teddy bear that chose the cereal that they didn't like. They treat those teddy bears, the green ones, with hostility. I talked to you about that. While the one that liked the same cereal they liked, are you 14-month-olds? I will not in any way, shape, or form disrespect human beings. I have no intention to say anyone's dumb, because I'm the dumbest person on the block when it comes to give me a map. I don't know what river is where, or all that. That I can hear information, it's because I have ears like a child, and I said, oh, that's interesting. I'm curious. I don't have a 16-year-old who's spiting. I never spited adults. I found that ridiculous. The adults were right. All the teenagers were assholes, and they still are. Which is why anybody who's a maladaptive child who's not doing therapy is an asshole. Yeah, but so are the ones who don't have maladaptive, but they're adaptive. You know why? Because they're manipulative, desperate, sad stories. I mean, having to meet men of 50+ years of age that really, really corner a person who's completely made it clear, I don't have any interest of befriending you at all. And the fact that this means 12, 24, 36 months. I'm just saying, like, does anybody have a life? Because the fact that, some people just seem to think they have age, I don't know what to say. My mind is like, I need people that are smart around me, as I can't handle the Pinocchios with ears. I'm just, I laugh with my smart people. So anyways, back to topics. We'll probably have a part 2, because I'm going to have to end this one shortly. So yeah, a lot of people out there who seem to want to be called smart. I don't see them claiming they're 1 to 3-year-old. I find it hard to believe that your 3-year-old has anything to do with you. Well, you should read One Determined, get attachment informed, and then come back to me and let me know. I have all of it, and there you go. So here's where I'm a 0-1-year-old and a 3-year-old, which is I'm okay with fear. And fear and love go together, because you know what? Guess who loves Maria to the bejesus death of my body, like your body? My brain, like your brain. So when my fear comes up and people make fun of me still at 44, I don't feel any ashamed of it, because I already got teased as an adolescent, and I was not like, oh my God, I'm going to, no, I was like, well, it's not personal. Yes, fear protects me, and I'm not going to be a dumb idiot and follow you anywhere, because I know what dumb idiots do. They think that there's always something that you can get away from. No. Does anybody not know what happened to Catch Me If You Can? And he got away with a lot, but eventually got caught. And really, what are you going to do? What difference are you going to make from prison bars? Let me out. But that's the part. Letting out the inner child for some people is really scary, because they didn't get loved. And that's the whole point. It's the 1-year-old that makes you freak out and run away because you don't have secure attachment with human beings. Smart cookie will hear the attachment in psychoeducation and say, wait a minute, I got childhood trauma, I'm going to go get myself healed. You're not broken. You have a whole self in here. It's an inner child that wants to love, and if you're afraid to love, that's what secure attachment people are for. The human sciences and mystics, 5D plane, no energy vampires, no dark auras, no mantles. We're not superheroes. We're decent human beings who know that relationships are meant for us. We're mammals. The wisdom of the body is that And the wisdom of the mind is that it tells you I'm a human who wants to be with humans. If I'm running away from love, this is something I want to check in on in a way that says I'm a human. Let's love each other. Tune back in for part 2. Welcome.